about to enter a podcast filled with high strangeness, conspiracies, the paranormal, and legends from around the world. With your host, Ken Mark, and brought to you by WNIP Productions. This is Somewhere in Dreamland.
Hello dreamers, and welcome to episode 2 of Somewhere in Dreamland. Tonight, my guests are Eddie and Jenn from the popular YouTube channel Eddie and Jenn the Vlogs and Then Some. Eddie and Jenn have been paranormal enthusiasts and explorers for nearly 20 years. They've conducted over 500 research and investigation expeditions into the realm of ghostly happenings. But that's not where it ends. Eddie and Jenn have a very unique approach as they traverse their adventures as a family unit. By doing this, they spread an uplifting, positive, and encouraging message to the world of the living and the dead. Now, without further ado, grab your blanket, tuck yourself in, and join me on a journey into
Dreamland.
Well, tell me a little bit about you and Jenn.
Well, what we are is we're paranormal enthusiasts. We've been basically doing the paranormal for about almost 20 years. And we started doing YouTube, I want to say almost 3 years ago. At first we weren't going to do YouTube because we just kept this private, our own thing. And then we decided, you know what, let's share this, because one of the things we love to do is we love using the SP7 spirit box. Or the necrophonic, and I love talking to spirits, and I've been doing that for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it started off with just a regular AM/FM radio, and I would just turn the dials back and forth to get, voices from that. And, we've just been dedicated to doing that ever since, and then we have, of course, 3 boys. We have 5 kids, but 3 of our boys are special needs, and so we don't like to limit our kids. We want them to do whatever they want to do in life, and don't put no limits on it. If they don't like it, just go on to the next task. The difference with our boys is 2 of them are autistic, one severely autistic, and then our son Cody is semi-blind and has intellectual disabilities.
Okay.
So we don't like to limit the kids whatsoever, and it also teaches other special needs kids and adults that they can do anything in life that they want to do.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, I watched your vlogs quite a bit, and I'm glad that you put them out there on YouTube, because I'll tell you, I feel like I know you. I feel like I know you because you seem like such a nice guy, and you're just you really. I love when you draw people in, and you draw me in, man, and I really appreciate that. And I love.
We appreciate that, hearing that.
Yeah, I appreciate seeing you interact with your children and your family, and it's great. I have kids myself, so I know what that means. I know the undertaking that comes along with that, So, but yeah, man, I really like your vlogs, and so tell everybody a little bit about your vlogs and where they can find it and how they can reach out to you and all that.
Sure. Like I said before, we're paranormal enthusiasts, and you can find us on YouTube under the name Eddie and Jenn the Vlogs and Then Some. And the reason why I call it that is a couple of reasons. One is because there are a lot of Eddie and Jenns out there. So when we first tried to go under just Eddie and Jenn, we was like, oh no, people get lost in the shuffle on this. So I wanted to make it kind of unique. So we put Eddie and Jenn the Vlogs, and Then Some was because, of course, the paranormal. And then we vlog other things, places that we go, and what we see, and a lot of things for men and women, boys and girls with special needs that they can do. And so that's what makes ours a little bit unique. And another thing about us is that when we do anything with paranormal, people look at the paranormal as a negative. So at the end of all my videos, I always have a positive message at the end.
Yeah, I find your show positive, and I mean, I really enjoy it. You seem like I said, you seem like such a nice guy. You're always putting yourself out there. And I appreciate your show, man. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I really do. As soon as Jen come in a few minutes, she'll appreciate hearing that too. I'm sorry, our son Manny is severely autistic. He's nonverbal and has mild cerebral palsy, so he is like a real big handful to take care of.
Yeah.
You know, and so she's right now just getting him changed out of his clothes. Yeah. So, and Jen really wanted to be part of this. And like I said, we just came back from Moundsville, doing a video with Ghost Mafia and Lady Swan, and it was great having them there too. And we actually met people that were actually fans of the channel, so that was a blessing too.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And they were happy to see that we were the same in person as, you know, on our videos when you perceive us.
Yeah.
And because we know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there that they say they do one thing, and when you meet them, they're the total opposite. Whereas when they met us, we were the same as what they were seeing on the screen.
Yeah, right.
So we don't, you know, we're not fake. We're not.
You seem pretty genuine. So
yes, and we try to be as genuine as possible.
So I'll tell you who turned me on to your show. Do you know a fella named Greg Charlie?
Yes, I do. Him and Doll's Dolly.
Yeah, he's the one that turned me on to the show.
Greg's a great guy. We investigated his house, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yes. His house is haunted, and it's a video is called Unaccepted.
Oh, I watched that. I did not even realize that was him. I haven't seen him in probably 20 some years, man. I just watched that one. You guys did the spirit box in there. She's a nurse, right?
Yes. And Greg was there too.
Yeah, I did not realize that was him. All right, well, I see Jen is with us.
Yep.
So let me ask a few questions. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right, so what got you guys interested in the paranormal to begin with?
Ooh, this goes back years. We got married in '98. Okay. And now during this time that we were married, we would talk about the paranormal, but I didn't know that my wife was just as heavy into it as I. And so every time we would see, like, Ghost Hunters would come on, and we would sit there and watch Ghost Hunters, and we would debate stuff that they do, you know, because a lot of the things that you see on TV, like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, to us, a lot of this stuff is Hollywood, because, you know, when you can tell something is being scripted, there's something wrong.
Agreed.
Okay. Whereas when we do this stuff, it's no script. And a lot of it, you know, it comes right off the top of my head.
Eddie, you mean you aren't trying to fight ghosts like old Zach or what?
No, we don't even provoke.
We don't really. It's hard to explain. We don't go out investigate looking for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We most of the time we majority do like older cemeteries that have not been taken care of. You know what I'm saying? That no one loves anymore.
Right.
Or people contact them wanting to do spirit box sessions. And stuff like that. And I've always had a special gift since I was a kid.
Yeah, my wife is a sensitive.
And
all right.
Since I was a child. So, this has always been a part of my life. Just, you know, the older I got, the less, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that I blocked it out.
Right.
Am I saying?
But since we got, husband, right, and then she finally opened up to it.
Awesome.
I still block it out to a point, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you're into that kind of thing, you have to learn to block certain things out, energies.
Exactly.
But if you don't, you write a lot of stuff in. And you don't want that.
Right.
Especially when we have boys with special needs.
Yeah, with my boys, no, they're already sensitive because, you know, they're special needs and they're vulnerable.
Especially Manny.
Do you feel like they pick up on stuff as well?
Yes.
Yeah, Manny used to, when he was little, he used to be, we moved in with a friend of mine, and he would be in the corner, and he'd be like, "Hi, Donna," and we'd be like, "Who's he?" And he'd be having a conversation. He'll go, "Hey, Mom, do you see Donna?" Donna says hi.
Wow.
And then found out that the house that used to be next to it, because it's just land, there was no house there anymore. We found out it had burnt down and 2 children died in the house.
Oh,
And one
man.
of the kids' name was Donna.
Oh, man. That really makes it crazy, doesn't it?
Yes.
So,
I think kids in general pick up on more of this stuff than we do. And I don't know the reasoning behind that, if it's because they're not developed or they haven't been told one thing or another.
they're pure and they're innocent and their mind open to everything because they're young. You know what I'm saying? They're not manipulated or closed mind, and some people grow out of it and some people don't.
Right. And then it's just, you have a lot of people that just don't have an open mind.
Right.
Like for myself, by me being an African American and doing a spirit box, like my wife even noticed a lot of my relatives think I'm like 2 sandwiches short of a picnic.
Sinning because
or I'm sinning, this is blasphemy. Right. And I keep trying to explain to them that I'm using this for good.
Right.
And they're saying, doing that, talking to spirits, this is something that God doesn't want you to do, and I listen to it in one ear, out the other, because they don't actually understand what they're talking about. And I told them, look, I don't play with Ouija boards,
Right.
We don't do anything that will count against.
Right.
So that's why we do what we do.
So, speaking of Ouija boards, I know that people used to use those as tools back in the day, and they kind of got a weird rap after the Exorcist movie and whatnot. But what sort of tools do you guys use when you're out on investigations?
Basically, love.
Spirit box sessions,
we use
SB7.
We use the SB7 spirit box, or we'll use the necrophonic. We just got Ghost Mafia had just got us something else too, using a pendulum, and we place it into a jar, because a lot of people, like Ghost Mafia said, you can manipulate a pendulum by holding it, and you can make it go left or right, east or west. But if it's stationary and you have it placed on something, then let it work its own magic.
Interesting. I've never heard of this. I'm gonna have to do some research on that.
Yes. And so I was so happy that Ghost Mafia had made this for us, and so we're gonna actually try this out on a later video, because we had just got it tonight as a gift from him, and it was that
He made it.
He made it. It just blew our mind.
That's awesome, man. I look forward to watching that.
Yes. So we are gonna use that at a cemetery.
That's awesome, man. So, what is your favorite tool to use when you're out there in the field?
SB7.
The SB7.
Explain that to me, just in case I have listeners that don't know exactly what the SB7 is.
Yeah, the SB7 it looks like a little transistor radio that picks up radio frequency. So it's basically, in other words, what I mean by frequency is white noise. So you can go forward with it or backwards with it, and it doesn't really pick up nothing but syllables. But if a spirit comes through, because it sweeps. But when a spirit comes through, it'll come out with certain words that only they can manipulate.
It goes in reverse. So if words come, like a sentence comes in the right way, how is that possible if, it's in reverse?
Yeah.
Right. Everything, right, because everything is going backwards, where the spirit makes it come forward, and it comes out in either a sentence or just one word, and so that's how that works. It just goes through sweeps.
Okay.
Right. It goes through like I want to say 200 channels.
Okay. I remember making those. I used to work at Radio Shack back in the day, and I remember making those. You could you can manipulate the little handheld transistor radios to make it. Yeah. So
so that's what I did when I first started. I was using a little transistor radio and would go back and forth with it.
Yeah,
and you would that way.
I remember doing that. That's really cool, man.
Mm-hmm. And that's all the SB7 is. Yeah. Then you have the necrophonic.
Yeah. What is that?
Now the necrophonic is an app that it basically has words, right? It takes away the white noise, and the words are coming in, in some cases, back.
Okay.
But it takes energy to make the word come forward. You know, in other words, like if they're going to say dog, you will hear dog, when in actuality you might hear God.
Oh, I got it.
But they're saying it backwards. You know, so
interesting.
Yeah, it's a real interesting app. And Steve Huff from Huff Paranormal was the one that came up with the concept for the necrophonic.
Okay.
And now it's been used by everybody.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yes, the necrophonic
app. It's an awesome app.
Yes,
that's one that is worth. Worth $10.
Yeah, it's $10 if you get it from Apple, or you can get it on Google Play, but it's worth it.
That one is like legit.
So what would you say is the craziest thing you've ever heard from any of these instruments that you use?
A spirit calling me the Nword.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow. That is bizarre, man.
Yes.
It's on one of our videos.
Yeah, the one we did at Dolly's house.
Oh, maybe I missed that.
Right.
I don't know how I missed that. I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
Right, and unaccepted because they could not accept me being there.
Yeah, because they had a guy there with an old man who was racist that died in the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got racist ghosts running around.
Yeah. Because you got to remember, sometimes in life, the way you leave here in life, that's how you are in death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're racist in life, that's how you're going to be in death.
Because that's all you knew.
Because that's all you knew.
Wow. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it does.
Right. And so all we do is we still treat them with love and respect regardless.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, when you're working and talking with spirits, they're balls of energy. Okay. So you treat them as if they were alive, a real person. Yeah. And that's what we do. We don't provoke or do anything of that sort. We're not going to disrespect them. And that's why a lot of them come through. And then a good thing about that is there's a lot of places that will go that a lot of spirits already know we're coming.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe it's an energy you guys put out then.
Yeah, because that positive energy. As a matter of fact, the clairvoyant that we talk to all the time, she said that we bring a lot of positive light.
Okay.
And so when we do talk to spirits, it brings positivity. They come to us. They want to talk to us.
Listen, man, watching your videos, I don't know how you can be anything but positive. You seem like the most positive person in the entire world to me.
Yeah, we have to be at least one of us or both of us, if anything, because if you watch a lot of YouTubers, they're all just so down and negative and talking about this person and that person. But I and my wife, we stay away from drama. You know, like they say, leave the drama to your mama. We're not that kind of people. We're positive people, and we only want positive energy with us. Leave the negativity out.
Well, positive things will happen to you then.
Yes, and that's why everywhere we go, we're always positive.
So how many places would you say you guys have been to and investigated in total? Just a guess. It doesn't have to be.
I want to say roughly maybe 500-600 within a 2-year period.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, because it's all right there on video. And there's places that we'll get that we won't even put the video out because it was a hit or miss. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I did one video where we really didn't get nothing, but I did it because I wanted the people to see that you're not always going to get something because ghosts don't come out on cue.
Right.
You know, and another thing is if it's haunted at night, it's going to be haunted during the day too, because to me, only my opinion, spirits have no sense of time.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, you'll have some that's going to continue doing what it's doing, whether you're there or not, which is called residual.
Right.
So they're just replaying themselves like a loop.
Yep.
You know, and then you'll have some that knows you're there, which is an intelligent haunting, you know, and then of course you have your poltergeist where it's opening doors and cabinets and doors and stuff. Poltergeist is just a German word for noisy ghost.
Yep. So have you guys ever experienced a poltergeist while you were out?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, at our house.
Our video.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
There's you guys have some really cool videos about your house on there. I like it.
Yes. There was one, especially the last one we did at the house, where the picture fell
off the wall.
Yeah, with the dog that jumped off. The dog jumped off the chair. Is that?
Yes, and the cat.
Yeah, it was a kid. It was like, forget this, man.
And then my son was sleeping. He was like knocked out sleeping, and I was doing something in the other room. I was cleaning in the other room, and all of a sudden, I heard a bang in the bedroom and went in there, and
his photo flipped off.
His record.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
And I'm like, how does that even happen? It's been there for like days.
Right, and all of a sudden it just falls over.
Falls off. Here's an interesting question for you. So, poltergeist activity often happens around young teenage girls with hormonal issues and things like that, correct?
Correct.
So, what do you think in your case of your house? What do you think? Do you think maybe
My son.
the autism is doing something like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it's interesting.
My boys bring it on. Even though they're older, they're in mind are young and they're pure. So they bring on the sensitivity of
That extra energy, yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
man.
they don't know how to express themselves, so they don't know what to say, and to them it's normal because it takes them time to process.
Yeah. Man, that's really cool. Like, I'd like to do a little bit more research into that.
Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why we take the kids. We don't take them all the time, just some of the time. Right, we're very picky.
Okay.
I'll do like I'll do cemeteries that are where I like, since I'm sensitive, I can feel off if I feel like there's a threat or I'm not willing, you know what I'm saying, it's not wanted there, I won't take my kids there because I know that they're sensitive.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So I won't bring them into that environment.
Right.
But if it's like something that's warming and
they're welcoming, then we'll take them.
I don't want to enable my sons because they want that. They want to be involved. So I don't want to enable them for being not involved. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be there.
Right. We don't want to limit the kids whatsoever.
Right.
I just limit to where they can go and where they can't go.
Right. That's about it.
Like we did the penitentiary today.
Mm-hmm.
It's daytime.
Right.
So that's fine. But when we go back at night.
When we do the night session, we're not going to bring them.
Because of the fact I don't want it to be open to them.
So how did that go today?
It was great. It really was. I was getting EMF readings in certain spots. Even though we were with the group, I was getting EMF spots that I should not be getting any. And we were testing it. They had an ER or IR light or camera. So I was testing it. It would go off there where the camera was. But if you go 10 feet away from the camera and you use it where there's no electricity whatsoever, I was getting readings. And I should not have been. Matter of fact, it was right about.
This was where at? Were you in Moundsville, you said?
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Yep, West Virginia State Penitentiary.
They were getting spikes off the
old Sparky, the electric chair, the original electric chair.
Wow. I bet that was awesome.
And that's going to be on the video that when I upload it.
Can't wait to watch that one.
Yes, because the tour guide was shocked that I brought my EMF meter. We didn't do a spirit box or nothing, but there was a large group there. And then that's when a lot of them realized, a few of them realized who we were. And then the rest of them realized that we were ghost hunters. And so we had our equipment with us and it blew their mind on a lot of stuff that we were doing.
That was awesome, man.
Yes, it was awesome.
And you said you met some of your fans there too, some of the people that knew you, correct?
Yeah, we met a couple of the Lumpley family. It was a blessing to meet people that's seen us on YouTube, and they were just leaving the tour when we were coming to the tour, and they was like, "Wait a minute, hey, aren't you Eddie and Jenn?" I'm like, "Yes, we are," and they're like, "Man, we love your videos. I love your messages at the end." And I thanked them very much for that. And the wife was like, you are the same in person as you are in your videos. And we've met other YouTubers and they're the total opposite.
Yeah.
And I told them, well, I don't like to down talk anybody, but we try to be the people that we are because that's who we are, So
yeah, I mean, you can tell by watching your videos, you're pretty genuine people. You can definitely tell that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I told them I was going to give them a mention in the next video when I upload this one, and they were so happy.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So out of all the places that you guys have checked out, what is your favorite place, and what is the creepiest or scariest place that you've investigated?
He's the one that got the creepy and scary incident happen. If you watch the video where he did at the trailer.
Oh, down by the wayside.
Down by the wayside, where he got hit in the back with a rock.
Ooh.
Yeah, inside an abandoned house. And I left. I was like, well, that's a wrap.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ran out of there.
I didn't get to see that one, but now I'm gonna have to check that one out too.
That one and the other one, when the gate opened. Now, what I wish I would have done was, I wish I would have put the camera downward so that people could see that there was no strings. I didn't try to open it or nothing. The gate opened on its own.
Wow.
And at first I backed off and I wasn't gonna do it, but I manned it up. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. And so I went inside this little outside mausoleum. Then the gate shut. Now I said, I think it was the wind. And so I left it at that. I did my little spirit box inside and everything. Then I walked outside of it, and then the gate slammed on me. And I just looked back and I was like, dang, you have to do it like that.
Right.
Because I'm thinking it's wind, but then there was people telling me that there was no wind. And not only that, it wasn't no wind because it was 97 degrees outside.
It was hot.
And there was no wind blowing. I wish there was wind blowing because
it was hot.
If it was wind, it would have been hot.
Yeah.
But there was no breeze. But my mind was saying, no, we're going to say that was the wind, Yeah. So that's what I did at the end of that. I said, yeah, it's just the wind, and left it at that.
I think her favorite one was the mausoleum. Remember the chandelier was swinging?
Yeah. We went to an inside mausoleum, and the first thing that happened was the knock on the wall.
Yeah, we kept hearing knocks on the wall, and then he yelled my name, and I looked back, and one of the chandeliers was swinging.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't a bad vibe though. It was actually a good vibe that we was in there.
Okay.
And again, those are my other favorite one though was when we went to the graveyard by accident, and it was where all the victims from Sutherland Springs.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that one. That was great.
We were actually going to a different cemetery, and I took a wrong turn. Ended up finding that cemetery, and I knew nothing about that cemetery. I just said it was Sutherland. Right. I said, hey, we are in Sutherland, Texas, and didn't realize till afterwards that the victims started coming up with their names. And so when we went home, Jen decided she wanted to read in more on the cemetery and found out that that's where all the 26 victims were buried.
Wow. Mind-blowing.
Yeah, and I took a wrong turn.
Right.
And then
something wanted you there, man. That's what.
Yeah, something wanted us there.
It was like a construction detour.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I decided, well, let's take this turn. Ended up being a wrong turn, but then that's when we found that cemetery. We were like, hey, let's go over here.
Cemetery. Yeah. I'm actually with the older cemetery, so it looked fascinating to us. So we went up in there, and it was.
Yeah, and then we started seeing recent graves and all that, and said, hey, let's go ahead and do a spirit box session here. And then we just felt sorrow and just felt sad.
Yeah, I left crying because it was.
Yeah, it was because it was sad.
You say you like old cemeteries, so have you ever been to the one down at Atwood Lake that's right there on the lake?
Atwood? No.
Oh, so there is a cemetery. It's when you're going down Atwood Lake, and I can't think of the exact road because it's been a while. It's on one of the pull-offs. It's right before a bridge. There's an old cemetery that sits right there, right next to the water. I had a crazy experience there one time, and you guys should check that out for sure.
We are gonna. I'm gonna look at. That's in Atwood, Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's down right below Canton there, just about a half an hour below Canton, down around New Philadelphia and that Dover.
Okay, I'm writing that down as we speak. And now, Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a 5-part series on haunted Akron.
Oh, cool. Cool.
This is based off the book by Jerry Holland.
Okay.
It's called The Canal.
Yeah, start with the canal, because now I went down there before and did a spirit box session behind the Akron Civic Theater. After talking with Jerry Holland, she told me that not only was it the Akron Civic Theater, but that was also that canal right there when the Irish railroad workers were here. When they died, they would bury them and just basically throw the body in the canal. So they called it the Irish Canal.
They buried them where they died.
Right, and it was called the Irish Canal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
From lock 1, I think it's from lock 1 all the way to lock 24. They call that the Irish Graveyard.
Irish Graveyard.
I did not know that.
Yes, and she said right there behind the Akron Civic Theater, a lot of them were basically thrown in right there, right behind the theater. Yes, it is. And that's why I want to bring to light that Akron has some stuff that we didn't even think about, like Summit Lake. You know, now I'm doing one, I'm going to be uploading one now of Nesmith Lake, which is over toward the city of Greene. And I followed it up with a news clip. And then I and my wife did a small spirit box session, and we did get stuff that came through. But a lot of it that came through was the voice of a child.
Oh. See, that creeps me out.
Yeah, and a child did die there. It's on that clip. The majority of the kids the majority of the people that passed away there were children.
Wow. So if you can, I'm going to tell you a spot you may not know of. And if you get the chance to investigate it, do it. Because I and several other people have had experiences here. Stark County District Library, you know where that is?
Yeah, that's Canton.
Yeah. So if you go in their basement, my parents used to work in their basement. It is part of the old morgue. Across the street used to be a hospital, and that basement was like basically the morgue. There was a tunnel that went from the hospital underneath the road to that place, and there's some crazy going-ons there. There's some really, I mean, voices to doors slamming to, I mean, just really cool stuff there. It's always active.
Yeah, I wrote that down. Stark County Library.
Yep, it's really fascinating. You can do the history on that, and the old hospital used to be right across the street, and they would wheel them the dead bodies across to that basement there, and it used to be the morgue.
Wow. I wrote that down too in parentheses, the old hospital. Okay. That's a definite. We can check that out too.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, man. I wish I still had connections there. I'd get you guys in, but I don't any longer, so.
Oh, no, it's cool because we're trying to get it. That's why we're going to do this 5-part series, and we're going to try to do some other series. And now that I got that on the list, that's going to be another one because we're leaving around the end of May, so we can head back down to San Antonio.
Yeah.
So that's definitely what we're going to look at.
Yeah, I would. It's worth a look, man. So do you guys ever worry about bringing anything home with you after an investigation?
No, we cleanse ourselves. We do prayer before we start. We do prayer after and cleanse ourselves.
Okay, great.
Plus we carry holy water.
I know a lot of people don't do that, and they don't understand. I think the actual threat behind not doing that. You know, like
right.
it's scary.
Exactly. And we always tell them if you notice at the end of all our videos, we always tell them they are not coming home with us. They have
right. I'll tell them, hey, you cannot follow us home, or you have to pay rent. You know.
Yeah. I've heard you say that a couple times.
Right.
That's great.
So, but we I don't show that we do prayer before and after because there's a lot of people that's against prayer. So I expect I don't do that, but I do let them know that I do.
Right. Well, you got to protect yourself, and that's the bottom line, right? And your family.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only time we ever do prayer is if we do in like a live stream when we do SP, the
then right live, then I have to do prayer live
to protect ourselves and the people on the live stream.
Right. Because I don't want us to be accused of them getting something brought onto them. Well, we started with prayer and we closed it with prayer, so shouldn't nothing be coming to you unless you invited it in.
Well, my whole theory of the spirit box, anyways, the SB7 is, I don't see it as, people always assume that's a portal, and to me, it's not a portal. The spirits were already there.
Yeah.
You're just giving them a voice to be heard.
Right. I mean, that's what, like we tell people all the time, your loved ones are always with
you. Yeah.
But what you could make a mistake and do is you can inadvertently open a door to someone else that's not related to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to make sure you protect yourself from that. But your loved ones are always going to be there, even if you welcome them. Half of them are already there.
Yeah.
You just don't know until you talk to them.
I think there really is something behind the power of radio frequencies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe, that there's something else there that I mean, those things are going through the airwaves. They're hitting everything. They're always there, the frequencies, and they've got to be picking up on something like that. There was a guy in the 90s, a doctor in Italy. I can't think of his name right now. He was using shortwave radio, and he was picking up on the craziest stuff. And he was first started talking to his deceased relatives and a deceased friend, and then he's like, these voices were coming through garbled at first, and then all of a sudden they'd come through crystal clear, and there were anybody that he asked to be there that had passed was there.
Mm-hmm.
So to validate this, he brought in some people from Germany. Now, he didn't speak German, and what he did was, through a translator, he told the translator, tell them, ask these questions and see what happens. And he had amazing success with these people that were speaking totally different languages. They're family members, deceased family members, coming through on this shortwave radio. I mean, and that kind of fell to the wayside after he passed away. I believe that all of that just went to nothing, and I found it highly fascinating.
That is fascinating. That's almost like what we do. When I do a live stream spirit box session, I want to make sure that the spirits are there. And what I do is I'll write down a number and I'll show it to the camera, and then I'll cover it down on my table, and I'll ask the spirits to tell me what number that is that I was holding up. And they usually come through and tell me what number that is.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? It's insane.
Yes. And another reason why I do that is to show people that what we're doing is not fake at all.
Right.
That it also teaches them not to play with spirits. Don't play with them, because you could hurt yourself.
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite video that I seen that actually gave me the creeps that you guys posted was your neighbor's house.
Oh, yes.
That was a good one, man.
Yes. You see the apparition that appeared on his back porch?
Yeah, at first I was watching this and I'm like, what the heck am I watching? Come on, Eddie. And then I saw it a couple times and I'm like, wait a minute. This is weird. Have you showed your neighbors this footage?
Yes.
And what did they have to say about it?
They were optimistic at first, but then they confided in us that they did have a relative that passed away, and they felt that she was still around. And that gave them validation.
Exactly. Now that was a cool video. Anybody out there listening, check out that video. It's really a good one.
Yeah, and another thing about that is that now the front porch and everything had mesh. There's no glass, because you got to remember, you're in San Antonio And during that night, it was triple digits. It was like 101 at night.
Wow.
Okay, so you don't want no glass. There's no glass windows on anyone's back porch. Okay, so it was this mesh, and you got them coming through the mesh.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really, really good video. I liked it.
And then our backyard was no cupcake, believe me.
And then the new neighbor that moved in on the other side, he said that they were scared of even being outside in their backyard.
Yeah.
Really? They said they had an eerie feeling back there.
Yeah, they had an eerie feeling like someone was standing in our backyard watching them.
Wow. So have you guys ever, what have you guys experienced in that backyard? What had you experienced in that backyard?
We've done, as a matter of fact, we have a series called Honey, I Think Our House is Haunted.
Yeah.
And we did both the outside and the inside, and we knew it was haunted, you know.
Yeah.
Especially the outside, when the EMF meter was just go crazy, you know. And we've even had other paranormal investigators come out, other YouTubers such as Spirit Stalker Afterlife and Ghost Dog, when they came down, and John from HSFL, and when they felt it and seen everything themselves, they were blown away.
Wow, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this one where we did a live stream, and he did a spirit box session where at the EMF where you the voices come over a recorder.
Right, on the voice recorder.
Voice recording, you know, walk around with a voice recorder and get, you know, see if the voices are, you know, on there. And he put that on one of our videos, and you can hear it like clear as day, like a person, like that's like the clearest, I guess, EVPA class EVP I've ever heard in my life.
Class A EVP.
From any other person that's ever done them, that's like the class A. And it didn't and then you know, like, well, are you sure it's not your husband? My husband. We did what was it? We had a video.
Right, we redid it again, but this time on video, so they could see how far out I had the recorder in my mouth, of course, and there was no way. And it's like they said, no, I did not do that. It came through the recorder. I did not have the recorder up to my mouth. Nothing.
Wow.
And I'm getting these voices. They was just blowing people's mind. And not only that, Ghost Dog was right there outside when I was doing it.
Wow.
And you can hear our voice in it and everything else, but then like in between the questioning, you can hear a male spirit come through clear as day, answering
the questions.
Well, yeah, you guys, I'll tell you, you guys have gotten some really good evidence. I like the one where you went to visit your friend's a gravesite, and you got some good evidence there too, man.
Yes, that was at Glendale Cemetery, and we're gonna go back there too one day, and we want to do a night session there. We was told that there's a certain spot at Glendale that you have to be where spirits will interact with you. And there is a video of it on YouTube that these other paranormal investigators went to do that, and they got really great interaction. So that's gonna happen too, I hope. If not this year, when we come back, we'll probably end up doing it.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
You gotta run the story? Oh, okay, go ahead.
So I want to ask you about these haunted dolls that you guys own.
Oh, the dolls.
Yeah, let's hear it, man. Let's hear it. I want to hear about them.
They are, you know what? They're not malevolent. As a matter of fact, they're very peaceful. The one Inde is very shy. She is very shy, but she does make herself known to be around. You'll catch her at the corner of your eye. Like you'll see something, but when you go to look, it's not there.
Okay.
Like somebody's peeking around. And we were foretold that she would do that, and that came to be true.
So did you purchase these things?
Yeah, I got it from a lady and said a friend of mine. She said she collects haunted dolls. She like goes online and
collects them,
and you know gets them off the line, other people's haunted dolls, and then she investigates them, and then So she's had them for years, but now that she's moving out of state and her husband is military. So I bought two of them from her. I bought Ende and then I bought little Andy. And Andy, I bought him specifically for a friend of mine as a gem because she wanted him. So I bought it for her. But Ende is, her mom brought her over here from Africa. And then her mom passed away. And then she died around, she died too, but the problem thing with her was she had a male attachment to her that we didn't realize when we had got her.
Until we found out ourselves.
And we're thinking that maybe it was like a father figure maybe, or something around those.
Yeah.
Right. But either case, they weren't mean or malevolent.
No, none of them were like that.
Real loving.
Like the wedding dolls, we got that from a estate sale behind us. Actually, the old lady died in the house.
And these were her favorite dolls.
Were her dolls.
And her grandkids, they didn't want them.
She bought them for her granddaughter, but her granddaughter was too scared and didn't like the doll.
Well, listen, if there's two things in this world that scare me, it's dolls and garden gnomes. Neither of them have to be haunted. They're just creepy as heck.
But we noticed when we put them in the garage, we got all kinds of orbs and everything that fly around.
And on the videos that we always do, a lot of orbs.
A lot of orbs. And we hardly, when we first started doing the garage, we have our own security camera in there. We never got orbs.
Huh.
We can tell what dust looks like and all that.
Yeah.
But when we put the dolls in there, we had all kinds of orbs.
Awesome. That is cool, man. So, do you guys, if someone were to contact you and say they had a problem or a haunting or anything like that, would you go out and investigate for them?
Well, we would, but we would tell people to be honest with them. We're not paranormal investigators, because I don't want people to get it twisted that, we're not like Patty and the G Team or, anybody like that, Zach Bagans, we use the spirit box. Yeah. And we're just paranormal enthusiasts like yourself or anyone else. And, but we do, on occasion, we'll, get asked to do that. And there's just certain ones that we'll do. Right. And plus our roadside memorials, but that's what we like to do. But we never turn anybody down, and we don't charge any money.
Yeah, right.
Because we all would like to hear from our loved ones. And that's another reason why I do it, because I like to hear from my loved ones. I don't want to be charged for it. Why are you going to charge me and the person's not here anymore?
Right.
So that's why I don't charge anybody. They want to hear, they haven't seen him in, let's say, 30 years, 40 years. They want to hear how he's doing. So we let him speak.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's why we do it. We do it out of love and light.
I like it. So if you guys could pick one place in the whole entire world to go and to investigate, where would that be?
Waverly
Hills.
Waverly Hills, okay. That's a good one. I mean,
the reason for that is I have a personal
attachment to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My great grandfather died at Waverly Hills with tuberculosis.
Oh wow.
So because I was born in Kentucky.
Okay.
And most of all my family are tuberculosis carriers, but he died from tuberculosis, and that's where he was at. Was Waverly.
Oh wow.
And then the fact that John from HSFL
is there now.
You guys are a little bit jealous, are you?
Yes.
And we told him too.
He's in Tennessee right now.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, listen, I really enjoyed talking with you guys. Can you guys tell everybody one more time where they can find your videos and how they can connect with you on Facebook and all the other outlets? Sure,
you can look us up on YouTube under the title Eddie and Jenn, and the Jenn is spelled with Jenn, the vlogs and then some. Or you can go and look me up on YouTube, not YouTube again, Facebook under my name, Edward Johnson, or you can go check out our Instagram at Eddie Jenn the Vlog, and Twitter under Fun Eddie.
Oh yeah, Fun Eddie. I have you on Twitter too.
Yes.
It's awesome, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate talking with you guys.
I appreciate you having us up, and hey, feel free to have us up anytime.
Oh, I would love to. I'd love to do it again. Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Well, that about does it for Dreamland tonight, dreamers. If you like the show, please remember to hit the subscribe button and feel free to leave us a review. Thanks again for listening, and good night.